Ladies and gentlemen, we are now live here on Sportswire Radio in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters. But before we get into tonight's show, and before we talk a lot about all things related to Tennessee backyard wrestling and everything else that our guest has been a part of, and it is his long awaited return to Sportswire Radio officially for the first time in 2 months. As I promised, I do want to talk about a day that lives forever in our nation's history, September 11th, 2001. Tonight is the 23rd anniversary of that attack on our nation's soil, where 2,977 people unfortunately lost their lives and never got a chance to come back home. They never got a chance to say goodbye. They never got a chance to say, I love you. And they never got a chance to see some of the special moments that we all get a chance to see, whether it's birthdays, whether it's marriages, whether it's just seeing the gift of life. Each and every day, we have an opportunity to do so many great things in our society. We have so many opportunities to do things that almost it seems as if freedom is free, but truly it's not. Today is Patriots Day, and it's also important because where I'm from, in my home communities of Staten Island and Brooklyn, 557 people lost their lives and never came back home. Over 140 police officers and firemen lost their lives trying to rescue those who thought maybe they could have one more moment. In the words of then President George W. Bush, we will remember every rescuer who died in honor. We will remember every family that lies in grief. We will remember the fire and ash, the last phone calls, and the funerals of the children. I can speak firsthand on the date of September 11th, 2001. I was in school, and the school where I went was just miles away from September 11th. As a matter of fact, my father at the time actually worked within blocks away from where it all happened, the World Trade Center, those towers where those planes went. And the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, in many ways, we all had a moment that day, whether we knew it or not. And we think back to the fire, the smoke. In many ways today in New York City, that day, September 11th, 2001, feels almost identical to today, September 11th, 2024. The weather, the feel outside, people outside and about, you would have never known anything would happen. But I can remember that day vividly, and as vividly as most people would who remember it. I remember bridges being closed, people not even having a chance to maybe say, I love you or goodbye, as I stated. And also all the firemen, all the police officers who ran into those towers that thought maybe they could save somebody, but they knew what they were going into. They knew they were going into death. A few weeks after September 11th, 2001, I had the opportunity for community service to clean a park right just blocks away from where it all happened, September 11th, 2001. I can remember people being united hand in hand on just being together, forgetting about all their problems, forgetting if people are black, white, Hispanic, Democrat, Republican, drama in the backyard wrestling circuit, and everybody came together for a few short moments. Why is that important, ladies and gentlemen, before I get into a few quotes? Is that when we think about our circuit, the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit, it's always talked about the constant drama. Who is ranked? Who's on a trampoline? Who's not? This company and that company feuding. This person doesn't like that person. 80% of backyard wrestling's toxic, and this one says that one's an indie reject. This one says that they only travel and get belts and everybody else's own problems. One guy shoots, one guy goes to another company and says certain things, and everybody gets upset about who wins, who loses. But the facts are is that we're all on the same team. And that's really, to me, the message of September 11th. The message is that really, at the end of the day, we're all united. We're all united as one. And I truly believe that while I get into a few more quotes, I hope that, in the words of George W. Bush, once again, on that day, in his State of the Union address on September 11th, 2001, tonight I ask for your prayers for all those who grieve, for the children whose worlds have been shattered. And I pray that they will be comforted by a power greater than any of us. And that's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. The truth is that every single day, there are peoples whose lives have been impacted and they'll never be the same. I can speak firsthand on a few of those things. One in particular, a fireman named Stephen Siller. Stephen Siller was a heroic fireman who was actually on an off day. He was playing golf somewhere in New Jersey and he heard a call about an incident in the Twin Towers. And he went and put on his gear and he went all the way running in off the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel down there in Lower Manhattan. And like many firemen and many other first responders that day, he didn't come back. Why is Stephen Siller important? Because Stephen Siller was a man that lived blocks away from where I live today. He's a man I can see his home almost every time I walk in and out of my neighborhood. I've seen his wife. I've seen his kids grow up. And that's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. There are so many that didn't get that chance. But we also remember the 125 people that day killed in the Pentagon. Northern Virginia had their own loss. And the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, I can hear the rest of the world hears you, from the words of George W. Bush. And those people who knocked those buildings down will all hear of us very soon. This is a day when all Americans from every walk of life unite in our resolve for justice and peace. And that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. It's about justice and peace. We come here and talk about all the latest happenings in the world of backyard and underground wrestling. We get away from life's troubles. The message of September 11th, 2001 was that we are as one nation. United, we stand. Divided, we fall. And that's a message that we should certainly think about in the backyard and underground wrestling circuit. As I stated, there are many people, have many opinions, but we're all wrestling matters. And the truth is, we're all Americans. We live in the greatest country. We have freedoms like no others would have. And today is a day that we remember that. And especially, it's a personal one for me because, as I stated, 557 members of the communities that I grew up in never had a chance to come back home. Never had a chance to go watch Sportswire radio. Or maybe not. Maybe they would have yelled at me in the street and said, you got long mutton chops, you got too long hair, and maybe you should stop talking too loud. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But the facts are, ladies and gentlemen, is that I think about those first responders. I think about those grandparents. I think about those parents, those sons and daughters and members of our society. And not just in New York City. There were people that were lost from all over the United States. The Twin Towers, the World Trade Center, were a beacon of peace. They were a beacon of hope and a beacon of prosperity. People come to America and they go to the United States and they think about one place, New York City. They think about New York City, where anybody can come and have their dreams come true. And for a period of time, 19 hijackers tried to take those dreams away. I can still vividly remember the days after September 11th, 2001. And I can remember those streets of Lower Manhattan as I walked through them. And I walked through seeing all the damage, all the destruction. I also remember when the Fresh Kills landfill, which was at one time the largest landfill in the United States, which was in Staten Island, in the mid-island of Staten Island, as a matter of fact, was reopened to see debris and to see all rubble of any remains to identify people that died that otherwise we wouldn't have known who they were. They could have been in Potter's Field. And people miraculously looked through those rubbles and remains for months. They looked through them to see if they could find somebody to at least give peace for a family or two and just at least put to bed what happened. It's an awful day in our nation's history, but we should always remember that. There are many times we have good days and a lot of them bad days. We have them here on this platform. Heck, Anthony Steele's shot. I've said things. I'm sure I'll probably say things in months from now. Many others come on here, and some people would say they air their grievances. But when we think about those grievances and we think about those problems, just think for a moment, September 11th, 2001, when so many people They never got a chance to come home, never got a chance to play ball with their kids, never got a chance to watch Atomic Titan in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. Almost 8,000 subscribers. You better believe they would have been watching. Never got a chance to maybe, I don't know, go to WrestleMania. Never got a chance to walk their loved one down the aisle. Never got a chance just to call their wife and say, I love you. Never got a chance to see their kids go through college. Never got a chance to do anything you think about. We think about all our problems in life, and there's no question we have them. We deal with wars. We're dealing with COVID, still in it, some people would think. We're dealing with inflation, a presidential election, and, well, backyard wrestling and underground wrestling drama, for what it's worth. But truthfully, ladies and gentlemen, I think about a quote of a few other people before we move on. And I promise you we'll move on tonight. But I think about these words from just different individuals. I had a chance to go to a few September 11th memorials over the years, and I remember vividly some of those quotes. And one of those quotes that always stood most to me is, we will always unite in the midst of a tragedy. And sometimes it takes a tragedy to unite us. Let that lesson that 23 years ago, that this tragedy will unite all of us. No one's perfect. Lord knows I'm sure say something in a week or two. I'm sure somebody will provoke me about Fletch. I have no doubt about that. And I'll say something, I'm sure. But the facts are is that remember that moment and remember what we went through. I think about it all the time. I think about it every single day when I see the firemen that I know, the police officers who either had cancer or some form of illness or paralyzed in some cases. I think about them every single day. I think about Lieutenant Joseph Gullickson, who's just blocks from my neighborhood and has a little plaque right where he lived, and he's not with us. I think about Steven Siller. I think about Robert Shea. Robert Shea, his family, somebody I knew for over 20 years. He was a man that was about to have a family, and he didn't get a chance to go and see them. He didn't get a chance to see all his loved ones grow up. I think about my home communities in Southern Brooklyn, and I think about all those people, the time I worked in politics and seeing all those street namings, all those first responders, those who worked in the World Trade Center, and they have a street named, but they're not here right now with us. Every day is a good day above ground. Every day, we should seize the day and cherish it. There's no question about those things. Our sadness on this solemn day will never cease, and for that we shall never forget. In the words of then New York Governor George Pataki, on that terrible day, a nation became a neighborhood. All Americans became New Yorkers. And why is that important before we move on? Is that in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit, we all are a neighborhood. We all are a nation. And when we go through our problems, and we have them, trust me, I'm sure somebody will say something about somebody, and who knows? But the facts are is that we're all a neighborhood. We're all a community. And at the end of the day, we should all live in it and do the best we can to work together. Because when we work together, we will all win. We will all be able to do the things that we want to achieve, and that's peace and prosperity. Tennessee Backyard Wrestling is an example of peace and prosperity. We've talked about them being in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and these individuals, they've done that. Many people who come on this platform, they do that. And why is this also important? Because there are people on our platform, ladies and gentlemen, who weren't even alive that day. And I felt it was important today, as we as one in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit, and for those that are a part of the Sportswire Radio family, for the past 6 years, that we take a few minutes and remember all of those people who never came home, all of those people who never got a chance, as I stated, to say goodbye or I love you. Before I do what we usually do here, I would hope, since I have a lot of people watching us tonight, just for a second or two, join me in a moment of silence to remember the 2,977 people who unfortunately lost their lives on September 11th, 2001. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. And before we get on and formally introduce our ringleader, and get into some lighter topics, because obviously I don't want to talk like this for the rest of the whole conversation, although I'm sure there are some people that would rather me do that than maybe talk about the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit. But I do want to say that this day always lives on in a little piece of my heart, because the facts are is that there are many people who in some ways died because of illness due to September 11th, 2001. I think about my own father, who in some ways his passing was in part to September 11th, 2001. He worked in the area. Now, was he a first responder? No. Was he somebody that did really much in the area for those things? No. But his illnesses were actually, this is a shoot, were in part due to breathing in all of those things, the dust, debris from September 11th, 2001. And he left us 12 and a half years later. Didn't even get a chance to see his granddaughters grow up, his son get married, not me. And many other things that, who knows, maybe he probably wouldn't have liked to be doing Sportswire radio very much. But the facts are is that there are many people like him that who went back to work just weeks later, thinking everything was good, everything was hunky-dory, let's move on. But the truth is, there were over 10,000 other people, and many of them first responders, that they eventually passed away due to that day. So truly, ladies and gentlemen, there were 2,977 people who died on that day. But the truth is that there are countless others, and we remember them. We remember their memory every single day. In the words of a Metallica song from the album Reload, their memory will always remain. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because we will never forget them. And in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit, we will never forget them, and we will always thank our first responders, especially our police, our firemen, our sanitation workers, who went out there and risked their lives without even blinking an eye. We were all Americans. And the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, before we get this show on the road, we are all Americans. Well, most of us except Ace Reed and maybe Yoshimatsu Matsuda. But the facts are is that we are all Americans. We will always be. We live in the greatest nation. We have the greatest freedoms. And no matter who you are, no matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, backyard, underground, trampoliner, on a mat, on the ground, a ring, a pro wrestler, an indie, underground, deathmatch, hardcore, we are all Americans. We live in the greatest nation. And you better believe it's always going to be on this platform. God bless America. And God bless all of our backyard and underground wrestlers. And now we think about that, we will never forget. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get this show on the road, because all those people that left, they don't want us to be crying. They don't want us to be bowing our heads. They want us to go out there and kick some butt and to talk some backyard and underground wrestling and to talk everything about TBW, because I'm waiting for it, because our guest here makes his triumphant return for the first time here in 2 months. He is definitely a ringleader. He is definitely a ringleader of the mothership of the best backyard company that I know, and he's going to have a lot to say about that. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I got a major announcement that you're going to be hearing a little bit about throughout this show. And I can promise you, when you hear about this one, the roof is going to explode. It's going to explode more than my intro, more than all those first responders and everybody else looking down and smiling, because God is watching over them. God is watching all over us. God bless America. God bless Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. God bless all our first responders. God bless Atomic Titan. God bless all the Sportswire Radio Hall of Famers, except maybe one or two. Those names, you can figure it out. And God bless everybody tuning in tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show on the road here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. He was once my hardcore king, but he is now my ringleader, successfully opening up the historic Tennessee Backyard Wrestling Summer Bash Show, where he defeated Russell Cooper. He is one of the all-time greats that has stepped foot in the backyard wrestling circuit. Simply put, we're going to give him that introduction that we've been missing these last 2 months? It's time to give him that ringleader-like introduction because, after all, he's technically not one, not two, but a 3-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. Maybe, just maybe, Justin Parsley might have some competition. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to blow this roof off the entire backyard and underground wrestling circuit and give our guest that introduction we've been waiting for. It. God bless America. So with that, further ado, here on the Sports Report. Number one, global sports show, 3-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. Successful at the historic TBW Summer Bash Show, which has garnered nearly 2,000 views. His name is now simply put, the true leader, Atomic My friend, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. You should take a bow after that.
Nah, we're good. Trust me. That's all right. We're good to be with you, and congratulations on a huge victory tonight.
Yeah, Summer Bash was great. I came out the winner.
Well, you came out the winner.
I can't wait to talk about it a lot.
I'm excited about it. I've watched it 4 times, and just Summer Bash was extremely successful. I know there was another Summer Bash, but this one, boy, ladies and gentlemen, what a historic show. And you open the show, and I mean, obviously you've had your own struggles. It's been a while.
Yeah,
I mean, we go back in the whole situation, but now I think you're back to where you're going to go and go on to even bigger heights, especially in this new TBW landscape. And first, let's talk about, for those that are listening and watching here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, Sportswire Radio. How does it feel back on track and now officially being the true ringleader of Tennessee backyard wrestling?
Yeah, it feels really good to beat Russell Cooper, honestly, because like I said on a couple previous rampages ago, he was weak. Why did he go out there acting like he lost everything? Which, I mean, he did, but he was being weak about it. You didn't see me go out there. I kind of tricked him a little bit. When I went out there, I was acting like I was his friend, but honestly, I have no respect for the guy. I never will. So,
do you think it's also because, I got it. How about this?
Yeah.
Since he's lost the World Heavyweight Championship to the Prophet J. Wild, I mean, he's been on a maybe the biggest swoon right now of anybody in TBW. And it was even mentioned during the telecast.
Yeah, you're right. He even lost a dude like Andrew Clay.
Well, I mean, obviously it wasn't Andrew Dice Clay, but obviously Russell Cooper wasn't laughing very much.
Yeah, I had to cost him there because he thought he could, get away from me. But at the end of the day, I wanted that match. I wanted to prove that he's not the ringleader. He never will be.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean,
he's failed successfully. Like, he's a failure.
Well, I guess you could say, are we on the Russell Cooper failure tour right now in TBW?
Yeah, I guess you could say. I don't think he will ever get back to the world title. It's not ever gonna happen. not when
But you also got
I'm
to look at it.
there.
If I were to say to you this, I'm going to say something that you're going to be very surprised with. We're going to put the match on in a few minutes. I promise. We're going to get into some
Yeah.
plugs. A lot of TBWs. I know people here in the chat. People want to react to some things. But if I were to say to you, you're going to be very surprised about what I'm about to say. Was this the biggest win of this year for you? Think about it. Summer Bash, opening up the show. Summer Bash was extremely successful. I know you've defeated some other
Yeah.
guys, but in terms of the caliber wins that you have had this year, you've had some big ones, no
Yeah, that's
question.
true.
For my
Yeah.
hardcore king, you were basically getting every hardcore wrestler out there, wanting a piece of you, but you showed that you were the greatest hardcore champion of all time. But if I were to say to you, defeating a man that was just a few months ago, the TBW World Champion, that this is the biggest win of your year, what would you say?
Yeah, honestly, it's the biggest win of my career this season
This
because
season, yes. This season, yes.
this season I'm a holder. Yeah, but honestly, yeah, it's the biggest win I've had because he was a former world champion and I beat him clean at that. So yeah, I think Joshua Allen should consider giving me a world title shot.
Well, I mean, do you want to? I mean, we can maybe talk about that in a little bit, but I mean, let's go in a different route. It's a different Tennessee backyard wrestling landscape right now. We've got a new Intercontinental champion. We've got a tri-star champion who's got. I mean, that's a whole. You want to talk about family issues? You want to talk about united we stand, divided we fall? We can definitely go there, but I mean, there's no question in the new TBW landscape that you could very well not only have gold, but even maybe some better like gold that you've maybe had in the past. We can go in
Yeah,
that
you're
route.
right. Yeah, I mean, look at me as the hardcore champion a couple months ago. I lost to Manny Cobra, but
Yes.
then where's he been? He like
Is
took the
he on the
title and
unemployment
ran.
line? I don't know where he is right. That's a
Took the
good
title and
question.
ran. He was a coward. You know, I gave him his respects for beating me, but at the end of the day, I could have easily got the job done, but it just wasn't the time, you know. But it happens. So yeah, Manny Cobra, if he thinks he can come back and with the hardcore title, he already retired it, I believe, right? I think, but yeah, I wasn't too happy about that. So yeah,
You can look at it and say, you know what? Sometimes it's all about momentum. Sometimes one win can lead to a domino effect. There's no question that there's
sure.
been some peaks and some valleys for you this season. You had an interesting season compared to prior years in
Yeah,
TBW. But I really think, objectively speaking, I know there's going to be some people that say this, some people that say that, but I'm going to say that I believe that this is a victory that could springboard you to some really bigger things because we still have a lot of time left this season. We've got some big shows coming up. Rampage 169, that's going to come out very
yeah,
soon. And we know just how successful that's going to be. We know it's going to be a lot of other things coming up after that. So there's still a lot of matches, a lot of things you can do this season. And that's why I think that this victory can be a huge springboard for you really to, I think, a big rest of the year coming up.
yeah. You're right. After I defeated him, I think, like I said, I should be in consideration for the world title. But Joshua Allen, he picks his favorites, so
Well,
he's always against me.
let's go with that. I'm going to put the match up in a second, but you know what? Two of his favorites,
But I
they
agree
went
with
down
you.
hard, but two of his favorites went down in Summer Bash. Not so much your friend, but my friend, Alan Michaels. And by the way, thanks to whoever put the Sportswire mention out there between that and Shane Davidson. That was definitely one I didn't see coming. But if you think about it, two of Mr. Allen's favorites, they
Yeah,
went down, and Mr. Allen has been right now too busy fighting trampoline guys in a Kewanee, Illinois, and maybe focusing on his home promotion, his home state, and seeing all the struggles right now. I mean, Chaotic's got the TriStar Championship, and Shane Davidson's back. Who saw that one coming? I mean, people talk about this name and that name, but that's a name I think a lot of people didn't see coming.
yeah,
We know the
exactly.
situation with you beating Russell Cooper and where that's going to take you. We know what Jay Wild did and the main event of Summer Bash. I mean, Joe Anderson's lucky to be alive right now. So there's no question right now that Joshua Allen, he might be upset, but he's got a lot of problems right now in trying to reign in his own company, because it was the words of commentary when Jay Wild won the championship a few months ago that chaos has unfolded into Tennessee backyard wrestling. We are living in dark times, dark days. This is the darkest era in TBW history, and that's under his watch, some would say. So right now, Atomic Titan, I wouldn't worry so much about what Joshua Allen's thinking, because Joshua Allen has been going to other places, entering himself in Rumbles. He was here 2 nights ago fighting again with trampoliners who are fighting Craven Rage. That's what Joshua Allen's been worried about right now. So I wouldn't worry so much about that.
Yeah, he's the most ridiculous boss ever. Like I've said multiple times here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he should probably focus more on TBW than probably arguing with other people.
Think about it.
He has a lot going
all
on.
about these outside. And how about this? Joshua Allen now has been commenting on things now, such as the backyard havoc, and he's been here a couple of days ago fighting with these trampoliners that most people, were trying to figure out. Well, one guy I might know, the others, who are they? And one guy was trying to put the light on and couldn't get the light on. And I mean, he was, obviously the situation with a guy, he had to basically make a deal with James Taylor. He had to make a deal with James Taylor to try to get one over you and see money. I'll get to that. But the facts is that right now, I mean, TBW, it's just, I don't know where things go. And Gage Flair lost the Intercontinental title. Yeah, there's a lot of things right now in TBW that, and we love Mr. Allen on this platform. We love Joshua Allen dearly. He is a great man. He bleeds this sport of wrestling. But there's no question that we talked about tonight to open the show about leadership and having leadership during trying times. And united we stand. Right now in TBW, it's as divided as it's ever been. I mean, it's more divided right now than when Beast was in charge. Easily.
I would say this season has been hectic. Ever since Jay Wild won the title, the vibe has been kind of darker.
Well, that's the point. We're living in the darkest era in TBW history. I mean,
you never know who's going to show up and maybe join the family.
Shane Davidson showed up. I mean, who would have guessed Shane Davidson?
He screwed up Alan Michaels. I will say that. He which was crazy.
Well, there's been some guys that have showed up here that, like, I don't even want to mention their names, but I'm like, that's Joshua Allen. I mean, C Money. I mean, Joshua Allen brings C Money in from ROW. He makes a deal with James Taylor. I mean, we know James Taylor, who used to work in this company, and he cut a deal with him. I mean, I don't know.
All right. What's going on with him, honestly? Yeah, bringing in
James Taylor or Joshua Allen, which one?
Both of them, honestly.
Oh, James Taylor,
owners, GMs, yeah. He brought in C Money to face me, which, I mean, C Money did beat me. I have respect because, I hadn't been beat in a while at that time. So
you were on a great run. We're going to get to that. I want to get to that, but before I do that, I want to go to a couple things here first before we do anything. Now, I also want to tell you, because I see a lot of people tuning in and out tonight.
Yeah.
I have something for you. For those that are listening and watching, you got to tune into this one because I got a major announcement. You thought my intro tonight, you thought my speech about September 11th blew the roof off? You wait until I have an announcement for you that's going to blow this roof off. You want to talk about equivalent to Hogan chants in Montreal? We saw Bret Hart in Calgary. Bret came back to Calgary, was on Raw for the first time, and who knows when. You wait until I see this announcement. You just wait, ladies and gentlemen. That is why you got to hang out with us here. But before you do that, I'll get to that announcement later on because that's going to blow the roof off this circuit. You better believe it. It might even be the announcement of the year. I do want to plug some things because we want to make sure we support our people. We support those that support us, and we love Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. And I want to tell everybody right now who's out there. I know I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers tour. I know I'm actually, it's funny though, since I've announced being on the road to 1,000 subscribers, I lost 2 subscribers. So that's okay. Maybe people want to see me on the road permanently to 1,000 subscribers, but Tennessee Backyard Wrestling right now is on the cusp of 8,000 subscribers. And I see us right now almost at 7,900. So I want everybody out there. You subscribed? Yep. Tell your friends to subscribe.
I appreciate it.
Tell your friends to subscribe, and let's get them to 8,000 subscribers. As a matter of fact, I want TBW by the end of this year to get to 10,000 subscribers. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very confident that TBW is going to get there because TBW is the mothership of the backyard wrestling circuit. So you better believe we're going to get there. But before
I
I get
appreciate
into
it,
all that,
man.
yes, sir. What do you want to
I
say?
say I appreciate it.
No, you got it. You got it. We support those that support us. But let me get here to what I want to talk about, which is Summer Bash, the historic Summer Bash show, extremely successful. How about 100+ likes? We don't want to see Alan Michaels and Shane Davidson. I've seen enough of Alan Michaels and Shane Davidson on
Yeah.
Sportzwire. We'll see him, I'm sure, on Friday. But let's talk a little bit about the match here. We'll just fast forward a little bit because we so the match just started. But you know, a hell of a match. We knew this was going to be a banger. Great way to open the show. The historic, again, Summer Bash show about to hit 2,000 views. And just talk about what we're seeing here for the audience.
Yeah, pretty much. Right there, I was going for another suicide dive, and I basically got elbowed. Then Russell Cooper takes me through the ropes, and during
He
that
did the
moment,
Eddie
yeah.
Guerrero suplex there a little bit. He's got the little bit of it, sort of, on the ground. Kind of clever
That was
move.
something. It's like he pulled out of his arsenal. I've never seen before. Right there, doing three DDTs. It was kind of like a Three Amigos.
Yeah, that's what I thought a little bit. I as well when I watched it like the third, fourth, and fourth time.
Which I
But
gave him props. He took me to my limit, but I'm the true ringleader. So yeah,
and how
I
about
beat
that
him fair and square.
neck jawbreaker there? I mean, very clever move there. But I feel that you did have a lot of motivation going into this. Maybe this is what you should be doing. I know that you were the
Yeah,
hardcore king. I know
yeah,
that everybody, obviously, you were probably more talked about than maybe you have ever been. You've done some really big
yeah,
things. But I think you're getting back to the basics. Sometimes in order to be successful, you have to go back to what got you to the dance. You have to go back. What's your base? Your base is just being a straight up wrestler who can do all the outside stuff. Go out there, use your experience, use your veteran skill set, your psychology to get back on top. And I think we're seeing a little bit more of the Atomic Titan that was once upon a time one of the very best ever in our circuit.
yeah. You haven't honestly seen this side of me in a while. I was the hardcore king since nearly last year in
About October
October.
or so. Yep, yeah.
So yeah, this has been actually possibly way before Vendetta of season 7. So I'm kind of going back to my roots a little bit and just not doing much hardcore wrestling. I haven't done that since I lost the title. I've been in like I think 2 matches since then, but here I try to take it to my best ability and
Well, you
actually
had. Well,
go
I
in the
shouldn't. I,
ring.
I don't want to bring up the Alan Michaels match you had after what
Ah,
like.
yeah, that's true.
uh,
Yeah, that was such a fluke win. Uh, man, that referee he screwed me over.
Well, don't worry
Literally.
about it. Alan Michaels has got a lot of problems right now because Alan
Yeah,
was
he
here
really
on
does.
Friday's
Yeah.
show, and Alan, I got to be honest, people were feeling sorry for Alan right now. So you know what? He got a win, but in the long run, Alan Michaels, he definitely lost big. Alan
I
Michaels
mean, maybe
definitely
maybe
lost big.
maybe he deserves it.
Alan
I can.
Michaels.
I hope he's watching because honestly, like,
I hope he's alive
right,
right now because
right.
poor Alan Michaels on Friday's show. Alan Michaels looked like he was a presidential candidate getting beat up on yesterday's debate. That's what he looked like. Alan Michaels was sitting there, and here he was like 2 weeks ago talking about, we got to be positive, we got to love
Yeah,
everybody, and he was sitting there like he didn't know what to say. I mean, so I don't know right now for poor Alan Michaels, but you guys are just killing
he's
each
got
other
a
right now.
lot to deal with. He's got a
I
lot
tell
to
you
deal
what,
with.
I tell you what I want to see about this match. I want
Yeah,
Copper Dragon to review this match. I tell you what, I am going to put the gauntlet out there because Copper Dragon, he's coming back to Sportswire real soon. And I
yeah.
want Copper Dragon, he's coming back, and I want Copper Dragon to review. And what a move. How about this there? What a dive you did right off the top rope there. I mean, this is why you are the ringleader. This is why you are the floor general, because that's the definition of a ringleader is a floor general, and there's nobody that shows that like Atomic Titan.
You're right. And right here, I'm going for a clothesline off the apron. I got to catch him when he's getting up. So when he least expects it. So yeah, um, I think it's one of my better matches. Told that to some people.
I think this is what you
Ever,
should be going back to doing anyway, because we
yeah,
saw you in all these
especially.
matches with Joe Anderson, Jacob Young, Manny Cobra, Andrew Clay. I mean, we sort of saw some of that in the C Money match, but really, and by the
Yeah.
way, this is some water there, so maybe Russell Cooper used it to help him
Hey, you
fight
can't have
dehydration
Summer Bash without a
without
little
water.
water.
I did
Yeah,
catch
that's
that line,
exactly
by
what I
the way.
said. Yeah.
But this is what you should be doing. You're going back to the basics, going back to what made Atomic Titan and what brought you to being one of the standard bearers.
Yeah, but you are right. And I enjoy doing this a lot. Um,
And we enjoy watching it.
yeah, this is a good moment. I think this is near the end of the match right here. I
Yeah,
believe
we're
it's
like
near the end.
3/4 from the way through. I think because we're going to come close to the submission, and I'm sure we're going to get some comments from the chat. And if you are there in the chat, we'll get to you after the match. And you had a nice little springboard there off the top
Yeah.
rope.
And
Kind of
Russell
close
Cooper
body.
can't say that I cheated or some type of way. Josh even can't even say that. I think it was fair.
Well,
He
he
was
has a
going through his.
comment. He has a comment. I'm going to read it
Oh my
off in a little
god!
while. He does have a comment.
I'm so tired of him.
Well, you
Honestly,
know what? Those trampoline. Well, if it makes you feel better, those trampoliners that he was battling with, Tyler Fury, Nolan Money McDermott, and Dalton the Executioner,
yeah,
they were giving him some lip there on Monday. But obviously, Russell Cooper and you were still fighting it out more or less.
yeah. And also, you see how I uh, kind of showed him that I had sort of the same attire, honestly, to maybe mind trick him a little bit.
Did you look to play mind games intense on almost
Oh
on
yeah,
purpose?
of course, on purpose, because I was trying to get through his head that he's nothing no more. He lost the title. He doesn't have it,
You
and
know, it's
I
a funny
do.
thing you said because we've been talking a lot about this on the show the past several weeks. Maybe you could say that in this case, he was somebody that the title made him because since he's lost the title, what is Russell Cooper? He's going right back down the card. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, somebody said that. I think after he lost the title, it was either Beast said that or
Yeah,
I think Beast, when he was here, said that Russell Cooper, if he came back to TBW, either he was going to get beaten like a drum or he was going right back down the card. And as far as I see here, after another loss, he's going right back down the card.
yeah. Honestly, after Jay Wild beat him,
He hasn't been the same.
he should have just went away. I'm gonna honestly his title win at season finale, that was a fluke. Cause like
Well, we
he
know
didn't
how
have
he
to do
won it.
nothing to
It was
win
a
that.
cash in, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big fluke. He couldn't even hold the title more than
And he held
two
on. He held
pay-per-views.
on for dear life
Yeah.
when he was feuding with Gage Flair, the Woo Man, and Jay Wild the Prophet. But Jay Wild's
Yeah,
got the
like
title now, and
I
you know.
I've been a multiple time world champion. I can at least defend it more than once, and I can hold on to it. I'm not a fluke like this guy.
So
He's
you would say that
literally
Russell Cooper's run as champion, he was a paper tiger, really.
yeah. That's why I'm saying he'll never get back to the title because honestly, he don't deserve it. He don't have that in him. People thought he was a joke, which I mean, I kind of exposed him right here. Look,
Well, we're
I
about to
made him
see it here
pass
right now.
out.
You got the best
Pass
move in. The best move is in. The best move is in. Cooper's fighting. Cooper's fighting. He's struggling. We're gonna see the ref Charles is gonna count. We're looking at Russell Cooper. He's trying. He might be a ringleader. Where's his magic trick? We're gonna have to see.
He
Focus,
doesn't have it
focus.
in him.
We don't have it. There's no trick. One,
See, easily like
two,
that. He passed out.
three, and he's out. He's out enough. It's over. The ringleader, Atomic Titan, is
Yeah,
the
look, I took
true
a bow right
ringleader.
here. I took a bow right here. I'm the ringleader.
He should take a bow.
He wants to pretend he's some circus act.
So where
but
do we
he's
get? So
nothing.
where are we getting the ringleader Atomic Titan shirts now? Now we
Yeah,
got those
what do you
hardcore
mean,
kitchen.
Dad?
You know, whoever's in merchandise, whoever's in the sales department, they have to now work on that Atomic Titan ringleader shirts because we know we got those hardcore king shirts out right away and they're on the Red Bubble store soon. We know that
Yeah.
obviously we're back to school season. We got to go out there and get those ringleader shirts because we can get them made up. And boy, there you have it. He's back. And yeah, take a bow, ladies and gentlemen, because Atomic Titan has shown that he is the ringleader. Not only of Tennessee backyard wrestling, but the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit. And there's that TBW logo, the mothership. And boy, what a successful Summer Bash show. We'll take this off the screen. We know Jay, well, it's a different time,
And you know
different
what?
context.
Especially, I do need new ringleader merchandise, and also if they could make me some sort of coat like Russell Cooper wore. I'm not gonna wear the stupid hat, but I need something. But that looks
I
a little
don't. You know
better.
what? I don't
Maybe my
think you
name
should
on
really.
it.
I don't think you should wear a hat like him. I don't think it fits
Nah,
you.
that's why I didn't. Yeah, I don't need that. I'm not some circus freak. I don't need to
I
be
thought the
exactly
circus
like
was
him. But
like
yeah,
outlawed in most parts of the country now because the way the animals were treated. Maybe that's where Russell Cooper is going back. Maybe since he's been getting beat up in the ring so much, that's kind of the same thing from his vantage point.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
Uh,
all right, go ahead. What do you want to say?
I was just gonna say Russell Cooper. If he's ever gonna watch this, or if I see him on the next Rampage, our story is over. You should walk out of TBW and never come back because that was such an embarrassment to your career. And I'm always gonna be better than you. So yeah, he doesn't stand a chance.
Well, right now, you know what? Where does he stand in this landscape? That's a question I think that a lot of people, and especially Mr. Cooper, have to ask themselves. Where does Russell Cooper stand right now in this Tennessee backyard wrestling landscape? You got a huge victory. Chaotic's got the TriStar Championship. Shane Davidson's back. The family's more stronger than ever. Joe Anderson's alive, sort of, because of the Lantern and Jacob Young. And I mean, Jay Klosh is the new Intercontinental Champion. What happens there with Robbie Andrews engaged Flair? Who knows? I mean, I don't know where he fits in this landscape. And I think that's why you need to continue to support Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. I cannot stress this enough. You have to support TBW, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. And boy, it feels so good to have Atomic Titan, my ringleader, your ringleader, and the Backyard and Underground Wrestling Circuit's ringleader. He is
Yep.
back for the first time officially here in over 2 months. An historic day here on Sportswire Radio. We opened the show. We had a ceremony. We spoke about 9/11, the importance of it. We will never forget, and we will never forget that Atomic Titan is one of the all-time greats in Sportswire Radio history. We are so proud to have him back home where he belongs as a 3-time Hall of Famer. We knew unlike some people like Big Man Cam, we're going to go on the Crooked Guys podcast with the Crooked Eyes. He knows he's always welcome here and supported here. And we're going to get to the chat. But I want to say to everybody out there, you have to stay if you're in the chat tonight for the end of the show because I have a major announcement that's going to blow the roof off of the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit. We have something. I can't wait. I don't even know what this is. I know that I have been told by an anonymous person. We have someone anonymous that has a major message, an announcement for us. It's a huge deal. And I'm telling you, when you hear it, when you get a chance to see it, it's going to just blow the roof. Like I said, think about Hogan in Montreal. Brett was just back in Calgary. Think about Punk in Chicago. Just think about those 3 examples from what we're going to see. I cannot wait for this one, ladies and gentlemen. And it's so good to be here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform that the likes of Atomic Titan helped build. All wrestling matters. And that announcement from that individual, let me tell you something. That individual, he was, some would say, the man at the top of building that moment, building this movement. Let me tell you something. But let's get to the chat. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And if you're here, please hit the sub button for me. What's that?
Congrats on that.
I haven't got to 1,000. I got to 900.
I know you're close, but yeah.
People are like, it's funny. Before I get to the chat, people are congratulating me. Like, I didn't win. It's almost like winning the election is like without winning. It's almost like what Donald Trump felt in 2020. They told you won, but you didn't win. Not getting involved in who won and lost. But that's kind of like people are telling me, oh, congratulations. I'm like, I didn't get to 1,000 yet. I'm at 900, like whatever it is. You got to go tell your friends to get me to 1,000, and then Atomic Titan can roast me along with a lot of other people. We have that. That's where it's going to be the biggest, I think, show in Sportswire history. When I get to 1,000, whenever that is. But right now we're on the road to
tomorrow.
1,000. Oh yeah, Derek the Destroyer is here tomorrow. I don't think I'm getting to 1,000. Well, I don't think Derek the Destroyer is getting me to 1,000 tomorrow. But who knows? Who knows? You never know. But we're excited about Derek. But until then, I got a lot of people that want to say hi. Let me get to them. Zilla, by the way, Zilla exists. Zilla is real.
Yeah.
She's a real fan. And she's here, and she respects you.
What's up, Zilla?
We love Zilla.
Thanks for the support.
our buddy from CSW in Charlotte, North Carolina, Abraham, who I
Nice.
know is going to be on Sportswire. I'm going to get him on soon. I promise you. He's been here the whole time. Love him, and I hope he's not missing his homework for being here in Sportswire, because I know in school, he got school tomorrow, high school tomorrow. I think we're senior in high school. Congratulations to our seniors. Yes, thank you, but I didn't win. I didn't get to 1,000 yet. 900 is great, but I got to get to 1,000. Justin Parsley, by the way. Now, I should let you know about him because you were the PWF owner last year.
Yeah.
I refer to you as my predecessor. I don't know about the other owners of the PWF, but I consider you still my predecessor. And I consider the lineage of the PWF still, but Justin Parsley is the current PWF champion. And he does say, never forget 9/11. Atomic Titan was on Sportswire too. Thanks for all you've done every 9/11. Thank you. Yes, we love Justin Parsley and Atomic. That would be, you know what? That'll be an interesting opponent for you. You know, I see Justin Parsley traveling to Michigan. I see him traveling to Iowa. But I think Indiana and Tennessee is a lot closer to him than some other places. Now, that would be a lot. You want to talk about some money. Now, you want to talk about some money, right? Some real money. Now, we can do that here, right? Go out. We can put some money on the table here, right? I don't know how much money's in here. Now, that would draw a lot of money, right? The PWF champion, Justin Parsley, right? Wrestling Atomic Titan, who was the owner of the PWF. I don't understand why anybody's talked about that.
That could happen.
That would be. You want to talk about some money being drawn?
Yeah, and I've been a PWF champion as well in the past.
Yes, you were. And you know what? You were the man that started this company.
Yeah, I did.
To me, this writes itself out. And I think Indiana and Tennessee are kind of close to each other, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's very close. You should come check it out.
I'll tell you what. I might be like Flair on Nitro when he had a heart attack if that match happens. I might be all of a sudden yelling and then just drop dead on the air. Then you can take over Sportswire. But okay, but we'll go on here. We got a lot more comments. Chat's getting popping. Yes, we love Abraham. We love CSW. And Justin said, this is by far one of my favorite intros we've had. Appreciate. Yes, honestly, we took the time. We were having fun tonight, but the truth is we all are on the same team in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit. And in the past month or two on Sportswire, we've taken that approach. And yes, thank you. We love you, Abraham. We love you. We're going to get you on Sportswire soon. And yes, thank you, Zilla. We appreciate the introduction. And we love the Samoan Dragon, Il Drago. The High Chief has arrived. Never forget, memory of those who lost their lives today. Power to my aunt, everyone. Yes, we pray for your aunt. We love your aunt, and she is smiling down on you. She's definitely smiling and saying Il Drago is going to do some really big things in our world, and we are praying with her. We love her, and we love Il Drago. And Il Drago is one of my favorites, and if he needs anything, you can message me anytime. That goes for any wrestler on Sportswire. You message me 24/7. 24/7. That's my boss, and I'm proud to be his champion. Yes, USA. We love our country, and we love Abraham. And the Evil Angel Judas, another guy up-and-comer, and he's here. Now, that's not the announcement, but he's here Monday, September 23rd, because apparently he's a world champion. Everybody was talking about him. Joshua Allen was spending more time praising Judas than Atomic Titan, by the way. Just saying. I caught Joshua Allen praising Judas a few days ago on Instagram, but not so much praising that big Atomic Titan one. Just saying.
He never does that. So
boy, the chat is popping. We got a lot of comments here. Chat is back. Yes, we pray for Il Drago's aunt. We pray for everybody. 557 people in southern Brooklyn and Staten Island passed away just alone that day. That's not counting all the first responders, people that worked in there. But we move on. We rise above. Yes. Jacob Young, by the way. Jacob Young. I think it's the Jacob Young. God bless the USA and never forget 9/11. Yes. And thankfully, Joe Anderson rose up out of the body bag. Have you ever been put in a body bag like that, by the way? I don't think so.
I don't think
we don't
I've
want
ever
to go
done that.
there. Don't want to go there. Thank you, Abraham. I appreciate that very much. Yes, we appreciate that. Yes, Tom Bryce. That's okay. Don't say condolences to me. Condolences are when I get to 1,000 subscribers. Just kidding. Just kidding. Congratulations to Atomic Titan on winning his match against Russell Cooper and becoming the true leader of the team. You know what? We should get Zilla. You know what? I got a better idea. Zilla should take over Sportswire. What does everybody think in the chat? Zilla should take over Sportswire. Zilla should be the one to take over Sportswire. Now, that would draw some ratings. That would boost viewership. That would boost us to the subs. Zilla's the one. I got it. Zilla, you're taking over Sportswire. You got it. You heard it here first. Let's get to some more comments. Now I see that we're getting heated here. The biggest issue is the family, and I'm still not happy about what happened. I'll admit you won clean for once, but you forget one thing. Cooper didn't he could have tapped out, but who won? You did.
Yeah, I won. He lost. So a win is a win. That's all Joshua does is he complains. Joshua Allen, he just wants to see me lose. That's all it is. But at the end of the day, I'm probably one of the best he has. There would probably be no Joshua Allen without me. He would have never been world champion. He would have probably never even been general manager. So he should be thanking me.
And he didn't get a chance. If it wasn't for you, he wouldn't have got a chance to go back in that Rumble, another promotion.
That's true. Over at Resurrection. Yep.
Yeah. Battling
That's
Gabe
true.
Sayers, a guy that wrestled Grimm in GTS. I mean, a rival of TBW's. I mean, TBW's main competition is GTS. I mean, and that's who Joshua Allen was battling, Gabe Sayers, who's battling TBW's rival.
Yeah, well, I mean, a couple months ago, wasn't I on here challenging Josh to a match, and then he goes and wrestles for another company, but he won't step into his own?
I thought to defend the honor of TBW. I mean, TBW is the mothership. I don't know. You know what? I just don't know here. You know, I'm confused about the backyard underground wrestling circuit more by the day. You know, we'll see, though. Yes, hi to the owner of GM TBW, Josh Allen. D'Angelo the Flame. Maybe D'Angelo Flame should come back to TBW. He's a lot closer than the other places he travels to. Yeah, we can move on. D'Angelo the Flame. We can move on from him. I got that. We can move on. Mr. Titan was like, okay, D'Angelo the Flame, let's move on. I just realized that Cooper and Titan were wearing the same tights. Yes, and that was by design. Mr. Titan said that was by the design. I have a good one for you. What is your submit? Oh, it's the best lock. The best move.
Yeah, the best lock. Yes, that's what it is.
We got that. Thank you, Zilla. Thank you for the good comment. Zilla, I told you Zilla's going to be the best host in Sportswire history. She's going to take over. As far as your request, though, and going after the World Championship, I'll keep it in mind. But this upcoming Rampage, the aftermath of Summer Bash, he'll be giving an announcement. Are you worried about this announcement?
I mean, if it's a good announcement, like maybe throwing a celebration for me, sort of like an initiation of being.
Well, you know, last year around this time, we got a celebration for somebody. We got us. So maybe we should have the celebration of Atomic Titan officially being declared the ringleader. Maybe we should get those balloons out. Maybe we should get, I don't know, developmental staff in TBW.
Cake, so I can possibly throw it in his face again, like I've done every single time.
Speaking of people, though, that want cake. Well, speaking of people that have an announcement, we have somebody named Big Man Cam, but doesn't look like Big Man Cam. He requests you for this thing called the Backyard Havoc, but I think you seem like you're focused on TBW, though. What is your thought?
Very much so. I mean, I could possibly try to go. It just depends on my scheduling. But
what do you think, though, about TBW wrestlers like the TriStar champion, Mr. Chaotic, and also Alan Michaels representing TBW in this apparently November 9th to 10th in beautiful Bremen, Ohio, and there you have it. They're in it. What's your opinions on that?
Honestly, I think it's good for the community, and I honestly can't wait to see it.
Me too.
I hope it's a great show. Hopefully, I end up getting to go, but I'm glad to see them going.
I'm very excited to have him because, well, it's my idea actually. It was born on Sportswire. Awesome. It was actually this one's. Yeah, you can blame me for it. So yeah, thank everybody. Everybody can blame me for the Backyard Havoc. But yes, the Backyard Havoc.
I'll be looking forward to it.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very much excited about it. We love Chaotic and we love Alan Michaels, but you are still upset at Alan Michaels. But let's move on here.
Yeah, I don't.
Beast is in the house, and he put flowers and rest in peace. I think this is for Russell Cooper.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe he's hanging with Mr. Cooper now. Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
maybe I could have called them to maybe bury him at that house again.
Well, if it helps you, I actually do live across the street from a cemetery. So when I talk to the cemetery workers tomorrow morning, I'll make sure that I go like this and say, hey, guys, can we find something for Russell Cooper? I'm sure that they can come up with something. So we can do that for sure. And yes, they were wearing the same tights.
Yes,
we're wearing the same tights.
It's all mind games, especially. So, yeah.
And Justin Parsley kind of said I should be less lazy and try scrolling next time. That's okay. We'll give you a pass. You good, man. Question we do got a lot of chat's popping tonight. Chat is back. The chat is back. The last couple of days, yeah. But I have something from Justin Parsley. He wants to address you, Mr. Titan, if you don't mind.
All
We
right.
have a lot of PWF history here tonight. Is the world title I'm currently holding the same championship as the Uprising title lineage, or are you wise enough to recognize my reign as a new lineage?
Well, I mean, it is a different championship, but ever since the beginning, I mean, I could see it being the same. But at the same time, I know it's a new design. That was
It is.
obviously the Uprising title. This is a world heavyweight title. Either way, whichever the owners now want to
Well, I'm one
do.
third. I'm one
Yeah.
third. Well,
Either
my
which
vote
way you want to say, yeah.
My vote, I will say my vote is that I recognize the lineage. My vote,
Yeah,
I
for
know my
sure.
two other owners, they respectfully have that I don't it's up to them. I don't like to speak on
Yeah.
behalf of people, but in this particular case, as my one third vote, I do consider the lineage. And I do
Yeah.
consider you my predecessor. I want to let you know that.
And
So
obviously, I see like Parsley going to ROEW to face Delta. They both been PWF
and I
champions.
mentioned that on Sportswire, by the way.
Yeah.
I mentioned you as my predecessor. There you have it.
Yeah.
There
That's
you
very
have it.
cool. Yeah.
Yes,
Very
we
cool.
love our predecessor. I can't stress enough that. Let me get to some more comments. The chat is popping. The chat is back because you're here. That's why. Zilla likes STBW more than me. Sean Jovi, who's here Saturday night, by the way, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm offended, so I say Zilla should not run Sportswire. So Sean Jovi's vote, no Zilla. Also, when are we getting that Zilla episode? That's a good question. When are we getting Zilla? Zilla, what do you think? You're in the chat, Zilla.
Godzilla.
I'm not running for president, but maybe Zilla will run.
Maybe someone will still vote for you.
I'll vote for Zilla. How about that?
Uh,
And she's joking. And speaking of people that you've had some issues with about deals, about C Money, and James Taylor, the ROEW owner, who obviously made that deal with Joshua Allen to have you lose a heartbreaker, a tough one on July 4th and Independence Day with C Money.
yeah. James, if you want to really take care of me yourself, or either you or Josh, and show up to TW, and I'll take care of you myself.
I
I'm
mean,
not
because
lying.
obviously, yeah.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of him. What's
You
he
know,
gonna do?
James.
Come in and give me a stunner?
You know what? And Soldier GP had his own opinions about James Taylor and stunners. I mean, he had some things to say. And,
Yeah.
James Taylor obviously was in another promotion, another state, not too far from here in TBW about a month or so ago. Who knows? James Taylor. James Taylor is here. The
Yeah,
legendary
James,
James Taylor.
I'm the ringleader. You're like the past. Maybe like I seen he showed up to Resurrection too.
Yeah,
If I was there, I would have thrown him over. In the Rumble. Yeah,
So you would have had no problem with James Taylor.
yeah. If he wants to do something about me, you know where I'm at.
So, do you think though that if he showed up and knocked on the door to the TBW offices, though, how do you think that would go about?
Well, I mean, obviously he's good friends with Joshua Allen. Obviously, you can tell they have conversations all the time. It must be like
Conversations
they're.
to screw you over. Conversations to screw you over and lead to your demise.
I wish we could get some like audio leak of how that conversation went.
I think that was like how Watergate happened. Maybe are you saying there was a modern day version in the backyard and underground wrestling circuit of Watergate between Taylor and Allen? Hello there. It's James Taylor, the legendary James Taylor, and it's Joshua Allen. Well, what do you mean there? What do you mean there, James? We gotta make a deal. See money? Let's go. How much money you got? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I can't do their voices. I obviously can't do it. Zilla doesn't want to do that, but I think the chat would love to see that. And yes, Sean Jovi pays his respects to Atomic Titan. Sean Jovi loves everybody. Let's get some more comments here. Joshua Allen is worried about the wrong family, but here's a question. What would be next for Titan if it's not the world title? That's a good question.
I have no idea, honestly. Maybe it's Jacob Young. Could be anybody.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair.
it could possibly be anybody. I mean, whoever wants to step up.
But that would mean Joe Anderson would be next, the man you'd have history with.
Yeah, I've already beat him. He's nothing. I beat both of them, and now they're paired together. They're like some kind of a
that lantern thing. Yeah, you don't want to get in the middle. You don't want to get in the middle of that lantern.
Jacob Young, he would say a bunch of stuff I know and try to scare me and say he's like a couple months ago. Yeah, I've already been through that. I'm not
Jay Wild seemed like he I guess he's rid of them. I don't know. I got a lot of comments.
You never know.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll see. Stay tuned. Who is Tim Mecca from WC? Tim Mecca was somebody that was very instrumental in the Wisconsin backyard wrestling circuit. He helped train a lot of the guys in WC, and he passed away very recently. Young man, and we're honoring him on Sportswire Radio in about a week or so with Sean Jovi, but not this Saturday. That would be answering your question. James Taylor, though, says, I wouldn't mind beating you twice.
We all know that back in, I think that was season 6, when I faced him, yeah, that was a big fluke win, just like how Russell Cooper's world title win was. James, until you actually show up and do something, you're going to be nothing to me, always.
Okay, well.
You're a scared man, you're weak, just like Russell Cooper.
So are you saying
say
then that, are you saying now, not to prod the tiger or poke in any way, but are you saying then that James Taylor would fall on the lines of the older guys, that these young wrestlers have all been, not to put you in the middle of that, but there's a lot of these younger wrestlers that are crying and rallying almost everybody against guys like veteran wrestlers, that James Taylor would fit that description. Guys like James Taylor, guys like Sean Jovi, guys like Darkron, guys that are legends in our circuit, in our community, that are beloved universally for the most part, but they're a new generation of young wrestlers, young whippersnappers, the youth of the backyard that seem to be rallying about the same old stuff, the same old people like Joshua Allen, like Sean Jovi, like Darkron, and like James Taylor. So you would kind of, in a way, align yourself with the spirit of these young youth of the backyard nation, more or less.
Yeah, he's honestly not like a legend. I don't think so.
He's a legend.
Well, I mean, he might be to some, but to me,
would you think he's a TikTok legend?
I mean, he possibly could be, but you see, I believe that I could probably have a following like that too.
Yeah. I'm actually starting to get good on TikTok. I have a couple of clips on TikTok that hit 1,000 views. So
but like I said, James Taylor, he wouldn't show up and say it to my face. Even on here, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't? No. All right. Well, we'll move on. We'll move on. Let me get to some comments. Chat is fired up. Me versus Atomic Titan, PWF title, but you got to book Zilla as my manager. I heard that Zilla doesn't live that far from TBW. Zilla's in Georgia, apparently. Georgia's not too far from Tennessee. Yeah, you guys should welcome Zilla. You guys should have Zilla, and you guys should honor Zilla. Zilla doesn't want to be on here, but you guys should, could you imagine Zilla and TBW? You could see the announcing team with, Roger Cross and Troy Scott. Could you just imagine all those guys, the great announce team? You could see them yelling and just going up and down and up and down. And, it'd be great. It'd be fun.
Josh Ross will be having a heart attack. Or
I might have a heart attack off the Tonight
Show. Sweating Crisco.
Well, I'll tell you what, I might have an announcement that's going to give me a heart attack, but you're going to wait in a little while for that. But we'll see. We got more comments here. The chat is fired up. James Taylor says, I'm the ring general in this world, buddy. He is the ring general. He's not the ringmaster like Stone Cold was in his first gimmick in WWF, but he's the ring general. I thought he would have said the ringmaster.
Yeah, I thought he would too, but I guess now he's Gunther or... So, yeah.
Did anybody think on Raw when Gunther said, Goldberg is the one you hate the most? We're all waiting for Shawn Michaels, like, hello.
Well, he said Bill Goldberg was his favorite.
That was kind of like, hello. It was like awkward. You could see, like, the audience went from, like, huh? They went and that was what it was. Well, okay. Well, fair enough. We'll certainly take that off, and we'll move on to more comments here. And if you are here on Sportswire Radio, as I continue to say, go hit the sub button for TBW. They are closing in on 8,000 subscribers, and Sportswire Radio is on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so we want to get to 1,000, and we'll get to more comments here. Abraham says, I'd be down to be on Sportswire sometime soon. Is it just on a YouTube line? So we're on X. We're on actually LinkedIn. We're on sportswireradio.org, our internet radio station. We're also on Twitch, and we're on all those platforms. So, yeah, we can definitely do something toward the end of the month. Let me message you tomorrow on Instagram. I will take care of you. We'll set up a date on Instagram. So thank you for that. Yes, but we're on about 7 different channels. So that's to answer your question. Look, the whole world knows my opinion of you and yours of me. I still haven't forgot that challenge. I never forget. And secondly, the announcement is good, especially for the guys in the back. I think somebody knows a little bit about this announcement.
You know what? I wish you would invite him on here because you know what? I
Yeah.
would like to say a few things to his face,
What
but
would a
that's something you. That's
Sportswire
something
radio
you.
show be? Listen, what would a Sportswire radio show be without guests? And I think there's a
That's
couple of
true.
them that want to pop on
Well, they
and
can
say
pop on and
something.
say something. It's probably let me guess, James Taylor probably because I
Oh,
told him to say it to my probably
I
him.
mean, would you? Well, do you want? Well, first of all, James Taylor doesn't work in TBW. Are you sure you'd want him in here in the chat?
If he wants to come say it to my face, because obviously he wants to talk about me, and let's bring it.
Oh, so you want James Taylor? You sure you want him?
Yeah.
So you're not those trampoline guys. You can handle James Taylor. You can bounce him off at any time of the
Honestly,
comment.
you see what I did to him a couple times in the ring.
I have. We talked about it last year. We were here. We did this dance last year. We did this last season on Sportswire.
It's true. That's true. Yeah.
Well, apparently, I am getting requests for links. There are requests for links.
Bring on
Are you
whoever.
sure you want?
I
You
like to
sure you
talk.
want James Taylor?
Oh, let's
You
hear.
want him?
Yeah, let's hear what he has to say.
All right. Well, you know what? I guess we've seen enough, and I guess you're going to be getting a guest. You're going to be getting more than a guest.
Okay.
And yeah, I think I could do afternoon. I could say probably during the week we could do something, but it'd have to be an afternoon, maybe the first week of October. Maybe the first week we could do an afternoon, first week of October. We could definitely do it though. But James Taylor is not here yet, though. Zilla said hello to James Taylor, but he's not here. But
he's got to do his coffee run probably for CJ.
Oh, you didn't like that video he posted on Instagram with CJ Black?
Yeah.
He didn't like it.
I can see he's dealing with a lot there too. Yeah.
A lot of pressure there, huh? A lot of stress he's dealing with. Justin Parsley is there. Big man Cam's driving him crazy. Got a lot of Jack Delta, former TBW employee. I mean, just a bizarre situation. Maybe the pressure's getting to James Taylor a little
ROEW's going up there.
But James Taylor's, are you seeing gray all of a sudden on James Taylor's head from all this or no?
Yeah, I probably have to. I haven't seen him in quite a while. I have to see up close. But yeah.
But do you miss James Taylor? Do you miss him? No, right? You don't miss him.
Like I said, if he wants to show up to TBW and fight, we'll fight.
Oh, so wait a minute. He's the owner of ROEW, though. He's a competitor. You want him to fight? He's a competitor of yours.
Well, I mean, any man that steps in a ring, they can go down.
They could go down. But I'm joined with a guest here, and it's not James Taylor.
Oh,
it's
my God.
Jacob Young. Jacob Young is here, and he has a few words to say to you. And actually, I'm joined by another guest, and it's not James Taylor.
Oh, Josh.
Joshua Allen. What a surprise on Sportswire. We've been doing this dance for a year and a half.
I actually wanted to see what he was going to say. Because why can I not be treated fairly in your so-called company?
Do you have like workers' compensation? Do you have union dues or union rights in TBW? Or is that
look. Okay.
Pay me more, obviously.
Pay me more.
That big head of yours.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Did you not get the message that I put earlier in this live feed here? I said I will consider it. I will consider it. That doesn't mean that's not a no. That's not a maybe. Not even a yes. I'll consider it.
You better make it happen. You see what I had to go through? You didn't have to go through none of that.
Jacob Young, what brings you here, though? I mean, Joe Anderson was put in a body bag. He does survive, lives another day. But what brings you here? I mean, we know the history, but what brings you here tonight?
I mean, I heard Titans little complaint about not being the new ringleader. Or just, you're the new ringleader. So that makes you next in line for the world championship. So you just get a jump ship.
I beat the former world champion, and I beat Joe Anderson, and I beat you. I pretty much beat everybody. Yeah.
You did mention that, by the way. We did.
Yeah. I think it's a good opportunity. Yeah. I pretty much deserve it. Joshua Allen might not think so, but
well, I mean,
look, like I said, you got a clean victory for once in your wee little damn life. You got a clean victory. All right, I'll give you that. You didn't have to use no weapon involved. They had to call up Xavier Thorne for no favors.
I thought we were going to mention his name, but okay, fair enough.
Where's that guy been at?
I think he's wrestling like in parks now. He's doing like playground. Is that like a thing now? Playground wrestling? I guess it's all wrestling matters. What can we say?
I need to snap him back into reality.
I thought it was real wrestling though. The real wrestling league. It's real.
I probably got it off.
How about this then? How about this, Mr. Titan? Remember this?
Yeah. Hey, look exactly what happened, Josh.
Yeah, the arm went as well. The arm goes down 3 times. It's over. Okay, yeah, you got a clean victory. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say?
So you're gonna give it to me?
I told you I will freaking consider the options.
So maybe what's your big announcement you're gonna make? Is it celebrating me or something like that?
I thought that was last year. Last year we did the celebration. Are we getting this one this year now too? It's gonna be a better one, right?
I want cake, balloons, confetti thrown from above. All this stuff.
Would you rather have me announce it now, or you want to wait for that?
Maybe we should wait. Maybe Mr. Titan, we should wait.
Maybe we should wait.
Let the public go and watch.
Yeah, watch 169 and hear what this doofus has to say.
Well, I don't know if I could go that far, but I mean, definitely watch TBW on YouTube at TBW 2017. Please go out there and support our friends at TBW. But Jacob Young, I'm still wondering what brings you here tonight. Obviously, Joe Anderson was not so successful, but what brings you here tonight?
Well, you seen at the end of the match Joe's hand rise up.
Yes, I did. Yes.
And as I said before, who knows what's next, because something darker is definitely coming.
I did say tonight we are in the darkest days and the darkest era in TBW history, and I mean, it doesn't get any darker than this main event. This had to have been the darkest main event in TBW history, by the way. How about that, by the way? There, that was kind of funny and clever at the same time, but that was kind of funny. But so, are you saying, Jacob Young, that there's unfinished business? Yes, Mr. Young.
There's definitely unfinished business, especially between me and Jay Wild. There's definitely unfinished business between me and some people in TPW locker room.
But this is an interesting TBW locker room. I don't know where anybody fits right now. This is like Mr. Allen. I gotta say, you do have a very tough job right now because you talked about it. The family right now has gotten bigger. I mean, things have not been going the way you had hoped right now. I mean, there is a lot of chaos right now in this company.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing, because not only do I have one family to deal with, I got two to deal with. That's Young and Anderson, whatever they're doing. But the fact of the matter is this: I mean, honestly, but Beast, when Beast was commissioner at the time, I think it was a setup. What I think about it.
We talked about that on prior shows. We talked about the deal. We talked about that maybe it was all planned all along. These are things we talked about, for sure.
Like they bring the one guy that is very passionate about this organization, and what do they do? What does Beast do? What does the Prophecy family do? They put me in the position that I am in now. So yet again,
we're in a position almost to fail, Mr. Allen, right now. I mean, this is a position that you're in. Like, it's damned if you do, damned if you do. You got the whole situation with Mr. Titan. That's a bomb that could detonate any moment. You got Jacob Young and Joe Anderson. I mean, Jacob Young's been here many times. Who the heck knows? And I mean, Jay Wild's more angrier than ever. The family's got more gold, and Shane Davidson's back. That wasn't on my scorecard. That wasn't on my names of all of a sudden coming back to TBW. I mean, that definitely was one I did not see coming.
Let's get to that real quick. That Cue Ball thought it was my idea, and I didn't know he was on the premises. I have no idea he was there, and
I didn't know his name. No, you know what? Even in this circuit, I hadn't heard anything. There was nothing that said to me or anybody that told me, Shane Davidson's back. No, seriously, I had not heard anything about a Shane Davidson return to TBW. I mean, he kind of was left and almost written off. I mean, he was kind of written off from everywhere, and he shows up randomly as a part of the family. I mean, boy, that was bizarre. That was one I'm going to remember this year as one of the more bizarre ones, to say the least, literally.
Yeah, and I mean, and then of course, Jackass up here. I want to get this. I want to get that. Walk a mile in my shoes, buddy. Try to last a day in that.
You know,
But
I
do
think
you
I
think,
would be a
do
better
you
GM. I
think
think I
that
would
the
be a
Atomic
better
Titan
GM.
does maybe get a shot at something? Because he does beat Russell Cooper, maybe his biggest win of the season. Russell Cooper was the world champion to start the season. And that does give you something to say, you know what? I should be in some type of title picture. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's when or where, but he's got a huge victory right now and maybe his biggest one of the season.
Well, like I said, the next upcoming Rampage, I have an announcement,
by the way.
and that definitely it's. I think all the boys in the back will definitely be on the edge of the seats, ready for this one. I do believe, because like I said, all I gotta say, just tune into that. I mean, like I said, I can't give the announcement, but tune in
No,
to
don't
see.
do it here. Don't do it. But I tell you what, I watched Summer Bash 4 times, ladies and gentlemen. You better believe Rampage 169, I'm watching 5 times. And you got to join me and go watch TBW and go hit that sub button. They're on the road to 8,000 subscribers. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're here, hit the sub button for TBW and hit it twice. If you hear from me, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, the Road to 1,000 Subscribers tour. Hit that sub button for me. Hopefully this tour won't be as long as Cody Rhodes' Revenge Tour, Redemption Tour. But obviously it seems like it's so far. But Mr. Young, I mean, I guess we're going to have to watch Rampage 169, and maybe that's where you're going to keep all your powder dry and Joe Anderson, and who knows? I really don't know, Mr. Young. You're as your usual self, where we'll just have to find out. It's the usual Jacob Young riddles. Riddle me this, riddle me that, I suppose.
I will say that I haven't heard from anything from Joe since the end of this match, and
You haven't. Wait a minute. Say that again. You have not heard anything from Joe since this match? Did you say that correctly?
Yeah, I haven't heard nothing from him. I don't
thought
know.
You guys were family, though.
We are, but I haven't. When he raised his hand and the scene ended the way it did, that was it. That's all I know. I feel it in my soul that he's going to come back. I feel that he's going to.
You said, though, when you were here before Summer Bash, you told us that in a way you guys didn't need to win to keep going. You told us that there were bigger plans in the long run. Was that the way things ended for you guys and how it was supposed to, or what?
I can't say, because I know that Joe. I know that in my mind, I know Joe is there. I know Joe is still alive because he raised his hand up. But
he did. He definitely did. There's no question about that. I mean, Joe's alive.
Maybe even the Grim Reaper lost a piece of himself. So maybe he's struggling. Maybe he'll come back.
He's going, but okay. Well, if he's struggling, then you should be talking to find and knock on Joe Anderson's door instead of knocking on Atomic Titan's door. That what we should be looking for?
I'm knocking on all the doors, because.
But Atomic Titan has nothing to do with Joe Anderson right now. He got nothing to do with him.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, when we collect all the souls in TBW, there'll be nothing to do with nobody anymore.
So all souls are on the line.
All souls are on the
line. Well, you know what? We're going to have to find out. I'll tell you that much. But let me get to a couple of comments here before we do sort of move on here. Zilla says she's so famous on Sportswire Radio in the backyard wrestling scene, and we appreciate Zilla. And you never know, Zilla. Zilla, you could take over for me on Sportswire. All right, I'm ready to retire. Zilla can take over. I'm sure we'll get more viewers, and we'll hit 1,000 subscribers like nothing. But we see Mr. Anderson rise, and I'm going to rise to something big here in a few minutes, which we'll get to in a second. But it's not what you hoped for, Mr. Young. Not what you hoped for. Still not what you hoped for. Nope. I think we're going to have to find out, but just silent there. Very silent, Mr. Young. Mr. Titan, I mean, this was supposed to be your celebration. It's the usual celebration
I get. You know, I wanted people to come on here, but you and Joshua Allen had to interrupt.
This was your long-awaited return. This was the day that we were supposed to be united. But we're once again, you're anything but united with these individuals. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And where's James Taylor? Did he never show up? Did he get his coffee break?
To be fair, you wanted me on here, so ask and you shall by God receive. So
I'm already past the business part. You're not obviously gonna give me that world title shot. I don't even know why Jacob Young is here to talk to me. We've had a pass. Yeah.
Jacob Young is he's biding his time, I guess.
I did want to say something to Titan.
Let's go for it, because I want to get to my major announcement in a minute.
Okay. Titan, I want to congratulate you for your terrible victory over Russell Cooper.
Amazing victory. That's
you picked on a man who doesn't have a soul anymore.
Yeah, he pretty much doesn't.
So, congratulations for picking up scraps.
Yeah, you and Joe Anderson, beat him at Rebellion because of you, but at the end of the day, he wanted to come out there on the episode after and say that he didn't have it in him anymore. Like, who would do that? You got to pick it up and keep going forward. And that's what he didn't do. And that's why he lost at Summer Bash.
I see.
So
I guess we'll have to find out, huh?
I appreciate it.
So really, tonight should have been a coronation for you, Atomic Titan, to get the celebration that you deserved, and we're not getting that, huh? We're not getting it.
Guess not. But Joshua Allen, I want a new kind of robe thing, like Russell Cooper wore with my name on it.
Have you got the name Ringleader copyrighted now? You should get that name. You should be the sole owner of being the Ringleader at this point. Now, you should be the sole owner of it, and we should have the merchandise department
especially
to work on that Ringleader Atomic Titan show. We should have that here. That's
where's that at? Because Russell Cooper should be ashamed because I took his own persona from him.
I will talk to the merchandise crew and try to get that for you. Okay? Will that settle your nerves over a stupid logo? Okay? Will that settle your nerves? If we put Ringleader and your name, will that settle your differences? Like I said, I know you're wanting to get back to the glory days of the world title. We've heard it a million times, especially me, week after week, listening to you, whether it be here or in the arena. So, but like I said, I'm going to consider your opportunity. But like I said, the next Rampage, all the boys in the back need to listen up, because what I got to say, you have to be there, whether it be wrestlers, whether it be fans, whether it be in the fans there or all over the world. So, like I said, that announcement you don't want to miss on Rampage.
Well, I'll tell you what. You want to speak about getting to, let's say, the glory years? You want to speak about getting to celebrations? You want to get to maybe look into the past? You want to think about maybe going down memory lane? You want to think about maybe looking back and maybe looking to the future? You want to think about an announcement, as I've stated throughout the evening, that's going to rival Hogan in Montreal, Brett in Calgary. It's going to rival some of the very greatest, Punk in Chicago. You just wait, ladies, because I think now, as we're getting toward the end of the show,
Let's see it.
It's time for those that are listening and watching here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, to unveil a major announcement that we don't even know exactly what this announcement is, but I can assure you, this is an announcement. It's going to be one of the greatest days and one of the greatest announcements in Sportswire radio history. You know, ladies and gentlemen, before I get to this announcement, to set the tables for you, we started tonight remembering what happened, the worst moments in our nation's history. We looked back, we remembered, we will never forget. But now, as we close tonight and we go into the future, we're about to unveil one of the greatest moments in backyard, in underground wrestling history, and in Sportswire radio history. And one of the greatest people, one of the greatest men to have ever stepped foot in our circuit. A man that, let's just say, is simply put on top of that Mount Rushmore. He was our generation's Hulk Hogan. He was our generation's every single thing that there was. And it's time to unveil the announcement that you've been waiting for, I've been waiting for, and in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that he helped build. Yes! 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 He's back! Yes! September 27th, live in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, 10 o'clock Eastern time. He's back one more time. The greatest draw of this generation in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit's history. Our Hulk Hogan, the man that took backyard wrestling and put it on his shoulders single-handedly in Tennessee backyard wrestling, the man that was world champion for well over a year, one of the greatest to have ever stepped foot in our circuit, is back live one more time on Sportswire Radio. One more time. Yes, 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 yes. Ledger is back. Ledger is back in Sportswire. Prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. He is back. He is here to talk, and he gives his state on what's on his mind. He'll talk about what he's been up to. We'll look to the past, but we'll certainly look to the future. We'll certainly talk about what's on Ledger's mind. Ledger speaks, we all listen. Ledger speaks, we all stop. We stop and thank the man that has single-handedly been one of the greatest to have ever stepped foot in our sport. He will talk and he will address what's on his mind, what he wants to say. You will not want to miss this one. You will not want to miss. You know what was here last time when Ledger Shade was here nearly 4 months ago. And when he addressed the backyard nation, the backyard circuit, he had a lot to say then. You just wait to what he has to say right after SmackDown. Ledger Shade is back. The one and only Ledger Shade. the unbelievable man that has done every single thing that's possibly you could think of in this sport. And boy, I can't wait. As I stated, you thought with Hogan, those cheers and receptions he gets in Montreal, Punk in Chicago, Brett, we just saw Brett return to Calgary on Raw for the first time in Lord knows how long. You just fill in a name. He is that for our generation. He is that, the Ledger Shade. And boy, does he have a lot to say. Boy, I can't wait for this one. This is a man that we have all been waiting for. He's going to tell the nation. He's going to tell everybody what is next. What is next for Ledger Shade? We look back, but we look to the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait for this one. This is one, ladies and gentlemen, if I wasn't even on Sportswire Radio, I would tune into and I would listen up to. If I wasn't on Sportswire Radio making as your MC all the call with Ledger Shade, I would certainly make sure I would tell all of my friends to be there. This is one of those truly once in a lifetime. Be there or be square. 10 o'clock Eastern Time, September 27th. Ledger Shade is live. He returns to Sportswire Radio. He returns to talk. What's next? What is next for Ledger Shade? Boy, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait for this one. There is almost nothing left to say tonight, but otherwise you need to tune in to Sportswire Radio, YouTube at Sportswire Radio 6579. The one and only Ledger Shade is back. He is back to address everything and anything. Boy, I'm stunned. This was one we saw out of left field when Ledger was here the first time. It was an absolute honor. It was a treat. And we just thought this would be it. This would be his goodbye. And we really thought that Ledger Shade would just go back and whatever he wanted to do. And there was no asking of anything. It was just an honor to have him here. He's a true legend. He's one of the few legends in our circuit. But he's decided the time is now to speak. And I can't. I am ready to scream on rooftops for this. I am ready to tell everybody. And you need to go out and be here on this one. So you better make sure you set your watches aside. September 27th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Set all the stuff you're doing that day. Whether it's date plans, dinner plans, movie plans, AEW plans, whatever it is, getting ready for a football game, whatever it might be, you need to be here to hear Ledger Shade speak. Ledger Shade is here live and in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters. Boy, I can't wait for this one. You know, gentlemen, I'm obviously going to give you an opportunity to say a few things on this before we sign off for the evening, because there's really, I mean, off this, there's just, this is going to blow off the rooftops. And I mean, I'm shocked he's back on Sportswire. I am stunned that he's back.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. You're going to really relive, I guess,
the chapters and everything that this man did. I mean, one of the greatest runs in wrestling history. I put it up right there. Listen, in wrestling history, not even backyard wrestling, what this man did in wrestling history, he is one of the greatest to have ever done it. What this man did, the heights that he took TBW and our circuit, he took TBW and got us to Barstool Sports. He took TBW to the Sportswire Hall of Fame. He took TBW to become the mothership. He took TBW and made TBW the place to be. And I can't wait for this one. Boy, ladies and gentlemen, I'm fired up. I'm shocked. We're all shocked. We're all shocked.
Yeah.
It's shocking. I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're just going to end the show off on this note. And I can't believe it. I'm stunned. And I think this is just, what a day for wrestling. You know, as I stated before we sign off, we looked back in our nation's history, the worst moments in our history, September 11th, 2001. Never forget. But we end tonight with on the cusp of one of the greatest moments in backyard wrestling history. Ledger Shade returns. He addresses the nation September 27th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Ledger Shade comes home. He's basically our Hulk Hogan, The man that sits right there on that Mount Rushmore. You want to throw Jack Delter and everybody else out there, whoever it is, he sits right there with the Mr. Judgment. Anybody else, you throw a name out there. This generation, he's there, and he's here to speak, and I am stunned. He's back. Ladies and gentlemen, you will not want to miss this. We look back on those chapters, the anthology of Ledger Shade. Boy, the greatest hits, but something tells me Ledger Shade, he's going to hit, and he's going to certainly talk a lot about those greatest hits, and he's going to say what he wants, and we're going to let him say it, and I'm pumped up. Ladies and gentlemen, I am blowing up like a helium balloon because I have filled up with excitement that Ledger Shade is back, and he's back on Sportswire Radio. It's guys like him, guys like Jack Delta. They don't come here very often. When they come, they have a lot to say, and they don't come here often.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm filled with overjoy. Osiris is another one. When you think about those names, Osiris, Jack Delta, Ledger Shade, Mr. Judgment, guys that are right there in the Mount Rushmore. Certainly Osiris, Delta, and Ledger, they don't come here often. So when they're here, you listen, and you just listen. And I cannot wait to go through those chapters, to go through those moments, and to get a chance once again to thank Ledger. Thank you, Ledger. Thank you, Ledger, for everything that you have done for us. Thank you for what you've done for us. We love you, Ledger. We thank you, and we can't wait to be with you. It's such an honor, Ledger, that you've chosen to come back to Sportswire Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to be here tonight on this nation's day that we grieve, but now we look forward to the future. And we bow our heads, and we look, and we say, thank you, Ledger. Thank you, Ledger. Ledger doing, in many ways, what the likes of George W. Bush did on September 11, 2001, giving us leadership in times of crisis. We think about those leaders on that historic day, that horrific day in our nation's history. Ledger has provided that moment for us to be able to look to the future. There's no longer dark days ahead. It's only Ledger days ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and I can't wait for it. We were joined here by Atomic Titan, the ringleader, Jacob Young. Boy, he's fired up, and Joshua Allen, the owner, who's speechless. We're all speechless tonight. We are speechless. I don't even know what more else to say, but thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, I'm back here tomorrow with Derek the Destroyer. Derek the Destroyer is here. I guess Derek the Destroyer. And
hey, Tom, I appreciate it. I appreciate you for letting us come on. That was a shocking announcement. I can't believe it.
I tell you what, I'm almost ready to have a heart attack like Flair on Nitro. I'm going to go out there and put this microphone down. But please support TBW 2017 on YouTube. Also, Sportswire Radio, hit the sub button for us. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in prime time. The brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where wrestling matters. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively, wrestling matters. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening on Sportswire Radio. And thank you, and God bless America, and God bless